Ahem. You're dialed into Aika 80. Anyway, right?
Nice try, buddy.
All right. Welcome, listener. I'm Noah of the channel TravellingHalo, and this is not a Halo podcast, where my friends and I try and likely fail to talk about anything but Halo. Thank you for listening in. It is my honor and privilege to be joined by 4 of my friends today, all of us artists and or musicians, connected, of course, by our shared love of Halo. I will let them introduce themselves now.
I'm Alexandra. I'm a composer, producer, and a bit addicted to caffeine.
But, hey, I'm Jafet. I'm a composer and artist, illustrator, I don't know. Something like that.
Hello. I'm Neo. Sometimes I make music. Sometimes I talk about it. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. My name is Wernissage, and I usually make art surrounding Halo. Some redesigns, some of my own designs, and I dabble in some music on the side as well.
That was a beautiful yes and. Well, without further ado, this is not a Halo podcast. How are we all doing today?
Halo podcast.
And that'll be our audio bit that we actually insert as the official overread. What are we all drinking?
Water?
Yeah. I
yeah,
got this really lovely drink from the Swiss Alps. I believe they call it water. It's pretty tasty.
Oh,
Very
wow.
British too. Water. Do you want some water?
Water.
Would you like some water?
Some set the Halo water.
No, but yeah, I just have a nice bottle of water here. I couldn't be bothered going into the main building to make some to make a hot drink
Couldn't
today.
be bottled.
I thought myself a rock star
wow.
because I'm trying to get as awake as possible as soon as possible.
Wonderful.
Mhm.
I got some water too.
Oh,
Water's great.
Look at that. I got water, and I have peppermint tea again, actually.
Oh, look
I'm
at
double
you! Look at
dabbing.
you being healthy.
Oh wow,
I like that.
healthy boy.
Yeah, you know how it goes. I'm actually curious, based on the fact that we are all in wildly different time zones, I want you to tell me what your last meal was, but also which meal of the day it was. Like, what did you eat, but also, like, what part of the day was it for? We could go in alphabetical order again, I suppose. There's no reason not to. So, go ahead, Alex.
I think the last time I ate was at dinner. We ordered some Salvadoran food from a nearby restaurant, and I had a few pupusas.
That sounds good. That sounds very good. Jafet?
Nice. Well, as you know, I'm Mexican, so I had like 10 tacos for breakfast this morning. And then just, it had a lot of salsa and chili, and I'm just lying. I have scrambled eggs with, ham? Well, wait. Can I swear in this?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's fine.
Yeah. Okay.
We aren't associated with the Halo brand after all. 'Cause
Okay. Yeah,
It's not
fine.
a Halo
Yeah,
podcast.
But I
Not a Halo
haven't
podcast.
read all the messages, so maybe you want it to be like family friendly or something. But yeah, I had
No,
some
fuck that.
fucking eggs with fucking ham, and then I stuck one of them up my butt. But that's it. It was tasty, and some avocado with bread. Yeah, it was nice.
Well, we can't beat
Wow, all
that.
right, good job, man.
Yeah, I gotta step up my game. Be the contrarian of this podcast.
Single-handedly slaps an explicit content warning on the cover of our podcast. This bad boy can fit so many awful words.
Oh my god.
No, it's just like, oh dear God, we're not going to be able to monetize this.
Yeah, there goes that.
No. We can try the YouTube thing. Like it's like you don't have to swear. Say any swear words in like the first 10 minutes or something.
Yeah, it's like
To
10
be able
or-
to
I think it's
monetize.
a minute.
Yeah, I can hold
Yeah,
myself.
we've been on for like 40 seconds.
No, it
We
doesn't matter.
can just bleep it out. We can just bleep it out.
Fuck it, we'll
Exactly.
go live.
You know, I
What
always
if-
like that when podcasts do that, when they bleep. They literally
Yeah,
bleep
yeah.
it. Because it's actually hilarious.
Yeah, but what if I don't say any curse words and we just bleep it? Like, hi, I'm beep 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 Jafet, and I just say
Well, that's censorship.
Teddy Bear Jafet.
Well, no, I
something
guess
like
it's
that.
censorship anyway.
Yeah, we'll
Yeah,
just
but
bleep everything Jafet says.
Probably, yeah.
Yes.
People will be like, "What the fuck is he saying? Why is he so bleepy?" You know.
Well, if you curse in
But-
Spanish, is it going to demonetize us?
Probably, yeah. Especially because we have a lot more curse words. Like right now, I just said fucking, but I could say that in like 6 different ways in Spanish.
Oh, I love
But
that.
yeah.
Oh, damn.
Yeah, it's funnier that way, I think. But yeah, what about Gino? Neo?
Yeah, I had hot chocolate and corn on the cob and a steak and a salad.
Is that a
Not-
typical
all
New
together, of
Zealand?
course. I don't think a hot chocolate salad would taste very good.
That's varied, but I like it. Nice.
Yeah. The last
well,
good thing I had was lasagna.
ooh, nice.
Mm.
I had like a weird lunch. Like I ate lunch like 1 or 2 hours after breakfast, and then I ate lunch. Now I'm probably gonna eat like dinner in like I don't know an hour maybe. So it's
Some
been a
lunch
bit
on the
weird,
side.
but I got some spaghetti and some chickpeas and some mayo and
Yum.
yeah, basically that.
Spaghetti, chickpeas, and mayo? Where's the mayo
Yes.
apply?
It's you just pour it all over.
You
It
don't
works.
eat it like yogurt. Or something.
I mean, almost not in that quantity, but you know, basically.
What? So is this something Swedes do?
I mean, I do it. I don't think anyone else does it. It's probably because I'm a vegetarian and I didn't have anything else at home. So
I see.
yeah, chickpeas was the most delicious thing I had.
Well, I did the quite opposite of doing a vegetarian meal last. Last thing I ate was dinner. And it was a pulled pork sandwich that I got from the local barbecue place.
Yum.
Speaking of Halo
Yummy.
Infinite, is called the FOB. The forward operating base.
Nice.
Funny.
I live next
That's
to
like a Linus level segue right there.
I live next to a military base. And so everything around here is themed after the military.
Oh shit, oh, that's cool.
I like
It's
that.
all, yeah, it's all military discounts, all military or veteran owned stuff. It's a lot of that. So yeah, so I
Awesome.
actually went to the FOB in my actual neighborhood and picked up a pulled pork sandwich last night with coleslaw.
Nice.
I hope you can do that in Halo Infinite.
Get some food. Well, there are sandwiches.
I mean, that's
I
true.
need a coleslaw
That's true.
sandwich.
I just hope it's pulled pork.
They look more like pastrami or something.
Shit. Fuck.
I haven't
We need to
I
run.
mean, shit.
I need a sandwich.
exactly. We
I still think they should have kept the old line.
Oh, I think so too. I was thinking that it changes based on the difficulty you're playing at, but I don't know if that's true now. Just based on the fact that I played on heroic, and I thought, well, of all of the difficulties to choose for, I need a weapon. Like,
That's got to be the
Heroic?
worst difficulty to put it on.
yeah, I feel like you would put that. You know,
On
the
easy
callback one you'd
or
put on
normal.
legendary or something. You know.
I almost want to think that Juju Satan has something to do with it.
Mhm.
Oh yeah.
I think
Could
so.
be.
Just sneaking in.
Yeah.
That's
Mhm.
probably true. A lot of the dialogue changes. A lot of the references. You know, it's quite possible that Joe came in. He was like, "Nah, you gotta, right?" You know. So
Give me some love.
exactly. I heard that one of the main changes he made to that game was the Marines. The fact that they follow you now. That was not happening before he came on, and he was like, "No, dude, the Marines have to follow Master Chief." So
Oh, really?
That's really good. Because I still haven't played campaign, but like they'll actually pretty much follow you anywhere now, right?
yeah, and they got
That's like
hops.
one of the best things about the campaign too.
That's really cool because in previous Halo games, the Marines use what are called firing positions. So they don't actually follow you. They follow the closest like point that's been placed by the map makers that is like next to you, but they don't actually follow you themselves. So if they actually do that in Infinite, that's really cool.
They will follow you in a line like giddy kids after you save their lives, and you feel really cool for it.
I like that. I'm looking forward to that.
It's cool, and they got hops, and so when you're diving over rocks and stuff, they follow you.
Nice.
They can make it around. They jump like absurdly high. Actually, it's kind of like, oh, are we like augmenting our Marines too now? Or
Yeah.
what?
Yeah, I mean, without going too far into the game, I think the Marines are like the best part of Halo Infinite, honestly.
I think that's quite possible.
Mhm.
Their dialogue is very dynamic.
Yeah.
Definitely reminds.
I've heard a
me of
lot of great things about
Evolved.
about Marine dialogue and especially grunt dialogue as well.
Yes, dude, it's so good.
You've been doing
my
some.
teeth.
You've been doing some grunt
I saw
impressions,
something on-
Neo.
Yeah. I see. I can't do them. So I can't do them live because this is something that Marty was actually talking about in the last Marty Army event, right? So, Joe does his whole like in a raspy voice, like the high thing when he's like doing it live, but in the studio and like when they actually did the grunt voice back in the day, he actually does it lower and it's pitched up in post. He doesn't like start with a high voice. That's kind
That's
of the
right.
first like big difference. So like if I were to do it live, it doesn't really sound like it does once I've processed it. But I was gonna say I saw a video on Twitter yesterday, which was really funny that someone sent me where like I don't know, it was in some like Forerunner dungeon or something, and then there was you just hear some grunt just really far away that was just like, "Are you still there?" And then Chief rounds the corner with the hammer, and the grunt's
yeah, I
just
saw
like,
that one.
"Oh no!" it was so perfectly timed. It was hilarious and also just really sad.
Oh, I have it bookmarked.
Yeah.
I'll send it real quick.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I found I found the perfect one. I love the one where the grunt becomes the suicide grunt.
Yeah,
you
that's
know?
the one, Alex.
And he's
Yeah,
oh no,
yeah.
I didn't mean to turn these on. Ah!
Yeah.
The grunts make you feel
That
like you're
was
the
great.
antagonist of your own horror game.
Yeah.
When they
Incredible.
scream bloody murder.
It'll be a terrible impression, but like, so I'm guessing obviously we can discuss like spoilers on here anyway.
Well, people won't hear
Right.
this until I think January.
True.
So I think we're
Well,
covered.
it's not like a story spoiler. It's more of just like a minor, like everyone. Well, we all probably kind of already figured because Halo Infinite seems to just kind of drop a lot of Halo 5, including, well, just a lot of Halo 5.
That's partially true. You may find that to be less true as you when you actually play
I mean,
the
I
game.
know there's like obviously I mean, I get there's like, you know, like codex or log stuff, but in terms of like actual like active casts that play like
in terms
like
of returning
part with, like-
characters from Halo 5, 0.
yeah, returning characters is what I meant.
Yeah.
Yeah, because there was that really I had a really funny day recorded. I had a field day yesterday recording grunt lines, and then there was like this one thing, and I tagged them all up, so I stuck them into like the actual game, so that the grunts I basically replaced all the grunts idle chatter with like my lines, so I could record it for a video.
Yeah.
The perfect one played as I rounded this corner, and this grunt was just like, because it was one of the things I made, right? And then the grunt was like, "So Locke isn't in Halo Infinite. I guess you could say they locked him away."
Good
I saw
lord.
that clip
Oh
on your channel.
no.
Yeah. And I don't know what happened, but when I recorded it and I saw it back in the gameplay, it was like so perfectly timed. Because he like jumped as soon as he said it.
Oh my goodness. That's hilarious.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Joe I'm not super sure cuz I know for sure that his contribution to the grunts in Infinite is the propaganda towers. He is the grunt
Oh,
in
really?
propaganda towers. Yeah.
Oh.
Nice.
Yeah, which is funny. That once you know that, it's like, oh, got it. That's why they're the funniest lines in the game. But
yeah.
and the longest. But I swear sometimes going around, either whoever they got doing the grunts does a great grunt, which is probably true, or they've also interspersed him as some of the general grunts because, man, there's times when I swear I've heard him speaking as one of the general infantry grunts.
Yeah, I've noticed like it feels like there are different types of grunt voices because sometimes I hear a grunt voice that sounds a bit like new and not really the classic one. But then I also hear like the more Joe Staten ish grunt voice. So I feel like I don't know. I just noticed that, and I think it's kind of
The
cool. Like,
Marty Army.
not all grunts sound the same, you know. Stop
Yeah,
generalizing
hey,
grunt.
I just realized I can play back some of the grunt lines as I recorded them because I have Reaper open.
Yes.
Beautiful. Let's hear what you did.
Let me spin that up in the background, and I'll let you know when it's ready because I have to load it.
Yeah.
But,
Okay.
yeah.
I saw though on your YouTube the some of your grunt implementation. Did you actually implement those in the engine?
Yeah, so those are actually playing back in game
Oh
from the
my
actual
goodness.
grunts. It was actually kind of
wow.
Gosh,
so the
Neil.
problem is I replaced the idle chatter, and the idle chatter are the sounds where the grunts are like and so the problem is grunts can play multiple grunts can be playing those lines at the same time. So half of the footage I actually filmed was unusable because there were about 4 grunts trying to say a line at the same time, and it just absolutely fell to pieces.
Oh no.
Because I didn't want to make it like combat chatter because then there'd be like other stuff going on. But I think it turned out the video turned out pretty good, I think.
Yeah, I thought it
Grunt
was
voices.
hilarious.
Here we go. Yeah, I went in as it was cool because that's actually the first time I've modded Halo, and specifically like modified actors or sort of like the enemies and like how that whole thing works. So I got to see, oh yeah, there's a lot of enemies where the color is actually just a color change value in this sort of like I want to say in the kind of file that holds the like metadata on like how to depict them in game. So I basically had an RGB value and I could just change it. So I changed like the grunts to purple so that when I was in the game, I could easily tell which rank of grunts had the lines because the minor and the major grunts were like 2 separate files.
Oh, okay.
Excellent.
But yeah.
Oh, that's excellent. I'm gonna one of the things that I've just now set up, it is one of the multiple different pieces of infrastructure that I'm setting up for this show. And by the time people listen to it, it'll be fully fledged, is a Twitter account where you can go per episode, and anything we talk about, I'll drop links to on a Twitter post for the episode. So I'll put up the video on your YouTube channel that we're talking about of the grunts of your impression implemented into the engine, so people can watch that. It is very funny. You would talk about jazz. You made a jazz reference, and that was close to my heart. Thank you for that.
Yeah, I snuck that one, and I thought that would be funny. Just I got a couple of good ones. I'm just trying to. Well, here's what I can play back a few that I've queued up at a time because I'm trying to like pick just the good ones. Hold on, here we go.
They told me I was gonna lead the Marty army. I don't see any armies. Oh man, this COVID situation really getting out of control. It's already bad enough with a gas mask. Now I gotta put a mask in front of my gas mask. There's this big red button and oh no, I put my best friend out the airlock.
Slightly New Zealand grunts
that's
is
incredible.
something I needed.
Yeah, it turned out better than I thought. It sounds a lot like that other Halo 2 grunt that has the line, "I will love you and pet you and call you George." I kind of like how it turned out to like not be Joe as a grunt, but it's like still kind of feels like it's a convincing, like classic era grunt.
I think
voice.
all 5 of us should do grunt lines and see how they turn out once they're processed.
Yes. Oh, that would be incredible.
Yeah, well, see, because I want to do a mod where, because you know how the Marines, obviously, there's different accents for the Marines. I thought it
Yeah.
would be really cool to try and get the community involved to do something where we can make like different accents for all of the Covenant and all the
Oh
people that
my
can do really good
goodness.
impressions. So you can have
Oh, wow.
accents. You could have like 4 or 5 variations for the Elite, maybe like 6 or 7 variations for the Grunts, and then maybe like the Jackals as well or something. That could be cool.
Damn, that sounds like a lot of fun.
We're just like creating our own Halo game, basically.
I think that's the next logical place to go. Yes, I
Yeah.
agree. 100%. Yeah, I mean, so not all of us have finished Infinite, but all of us either have seen a lot of it or have actually played it. What we can talk about spoilers too, I think, because it'll be this will come out. Let's see, I think the first week of January is when we're going to release this. And I think that's long enough, right? As long as right now we're talking about the fact that there's about to be spoilers in a couple of seconds.
Yeah, exactly. Spoiler warning.
We won't talk about the ending. Jafet, how far are you? You say you're not done.
You see, my game bugged out, so I'm still at the excavation point. Yeah, it's like the third objective, something.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Have you fought the
It
boss?
sucks. No, I'm just outsider. I've been capturing fobs and looking for the propaganda towers. And that's
okay.
it. Yeah.
All right.
Cool. Gotcha. Okay, that's how far you are. Okay, that's fine. We'll talk pretty generally then. Have you been avoiding spoilers?
I've seen the leaks, but I don't want spoilers. But, mainly
Great.
because I'm trying to play it with my subs, even if they already watched it. But yeah.
I have seen you streaming it. That's wonderful. Well, I agree. I hate spoilers. Spoilers, very anti-spoiler person, personally. So I completely
No, I
understand.
love spoilers. No, I'm just kidding.
I was gonna say,
I hope
what?
no one loves spoilers.
I mean, I actually love spoilers, like the new Spider-Man
do?
film. I already read the Chinese leaks, and I already know what's going to happen.
really?
Same with Infinite, but like it's very different, like to experience it, you know.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
So yeah, that's I mean, it's dumb that I'm avoiding spoilers for everything at this point, but does
No,
it
I think
really
it's
matter?
valid.
Yeah.
And
Well,
also, there's stuff that I'm not completely sure that's happening. Well, that will happen later in the story because I already forgot
Right.
about most of the leaks. So yeah, but it's fine if you want to talk spoilers. And everyone is fine. I don't have any issues with it.
No. I don't think we should. If you haven't played it, I think that we should maintain your innocent unawareness. Plus, by the time we next talk, maybe Neo will have played it. So, that's okay. We don't have to do that.
Okay.
But you mentioned Spider-Man.
I did.
Yes.
Oh, wait, who did?
See, both of you mentioned Spider-Man. This is what I wanted to talk about. Wernissage, you said that you were just watching Spider-Man 2?
The Amazing Spider-Man 2. Yeah.
The Amazing Spider-Man 2, which is the one from the early 2000s?
No, it's
Or is
from 2014, right?
2014?
I think it's from 2004. Yeah, something like that, I think.
Gotcha. I've never seen that. Which?
Oh, you haven't?
Who's playing
Yeah,
Spider-Man?
you shouldn't. It's Andrew Garfield.
Gotcha. Oh, see, I missed those. Here's the thing.
Yeah, okay.
I know you like Spider-Man a lot.
Yeah, I do.
One of my least favorite superheroes is Spider-Man.
How dare you?
I'm
Well,
not sure
you
why
suck.
that is.
Elaborate.
Well, I think probably the reason is because the only Spider-Mans I've ever seen were the Tobey Maguire ones, and I saw them when I was quite little, and I don't know, maybe they didn't connect with me, but I think I was too little to actually be watching them and understanding what was happening or understand why he was kissing a girl, perhaps.
Yeah.
I was that small. I don't know. I was probably like 4, but well, I don't know. It depends when it came out. Anyway, those are the only ones I've seen. Also, I've seen the Marvel ones, like they're all Marvel. Duh. I mean,
I know what you mean. The MCU.
the
ones.
MCU
Yeah.
related ones. Yes,
With
yeah.
Tom Holland.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. So I've seen those.
Yeah.
What do you think of those?
Well, I mean, I want to say like I enjoy most movies. Like honestly, I've always said I like Spider-Man 1 and Spider-Man 2, like the classic ones, and I actually like the Amazing Spider-Man 1, and I like both of the MCU Spider-Man movies. But the thing is, I just rewatched like most of the movies, and I watched Spider-Man 3 like yesterday, and I kind of realized Spider-Man 3 is not as bad as I thought it was. Like the everyone just hates that movie, but I don't know, with that mindset, it wasn't as bad as I remembered it. I don't know. So I think I enjoy most stuff Spider-Man, and I even enjoy stuff from the Amazing Spider-Man 2. But as a film as a whole, I think it's pretty bad. But I like the new ones. They're
That
not
reminds
perfect.
me of my
and-
feelings of Halo 5. What you say about
Ooh.
Spider-Man 3.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, could be. Yeah, pretty similar.
Oh yeah. Well, the reason I've always disliked Spider-Man, and it's pretty petty. I just think that a dude in a onesie I just think he's weak. Personally, I just think he's weak.
How dare you?
He's just like a
Yeah.
kid in a freaking onesie. It's like
No,
oh,
honestly, I totally get it. Like, I think it's just personal preference. Like, there's no, you can't just
Oh, I'm positive.
say
it is.
Spider-Man is a good superhero or a bad one because it depends. Just me personally, I've always hated, not hated, but I've never enjoyed superheroes that are like huge and chunky, like Hulk, or just like
Yeah,
who
or
just
like-
smash things, or like they have like just like huge metal armors with a bunch of technology. I always like, being nimble and quick, and I don't know, and the
Hmm.
fact that he's relatable. I mean,
Oh,
it's
that's
basically
fair.
like Spider-Man, but
You
I
have
don't know,
you
I
have a
always-
huge portion of people who probably agree with you. So
I
probably
mean,
don't even
probably
have much selling to do on
it's
that
so
one.
it's not an original thought, but yeah, that's what I think about him.
Well, the thing
Mhm.
is I think that people like Spider-Man because it's like they like him for the very reason that I don't like him, which is that he is powerful on his own without any. Well, I mean, he's got the spider augmentation, that small
Yeah.
aspect of his character. but like I think that like for instance, I like Batman a lot.
Yeah, me too.
And
mean,
so that's kind of the opposite mentality. Like Batman's just so rich that he developed technology. It's just like Iron
Yeah.
Man. And I like Iron Man too. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I like Iron Man as well. So it's plus my I had a chemistry teacher in high school who I absolutely fucking hated, and his favorite superhero is Spider-Man, and I think that really did
Oh,
it
no.
for me.
Oh no.
It was no good.
So, what do you guys think about Spider-Man? Everyone else, let's hear it.
Let's be honest now.
Mm.
I already dissed on Spider-Man about as deep as you can go.
Yeah, can't go worse than that.
Thanks.
Okay.
Oh man, humans sure are ugly, but ooh, I like the jazz.
Is that a Spider-Man reference? You should do a Spider-Man
No.
reference in the grunt point.
Yes,
Maybe.
please. Oh, that'd be incredible.
But
Uh,
okay, go ahead, Alex.
I like it when the cool guy in the onesie saves people. I don't know too
Yes.
much about superheroes.
Yeah.
That's the spirit.
Honestly, I've never read a comic, and I don't follow superheroes closely. But I'm in the culture, and so their image at least is in my head. So that's about as far as mine goes. So your feeling is about as deep as mine.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I've always been that way about sort of like comic book and movie heroes for whatever reason. And when it comes to protagonists and heroes in videos, like I always want to keep learning more about them.
Mm-hmm.
As opposed to like comic book heroes, then.
Yeah, I just want the cool guy in the suit save people.
Absolutely.
Fair enough.
Jafet?
Well, firstly, Noah, we can't be friends anymore because you don't like Spider-Man.
Nice. Yes.
Good. We have a
I'm
team
very
Spider-Man
disappointed
now.
from the situation, but I think I can live with that.
Can you?
This will be
No, you can't.
only a business-only relationship from now on. But yeah, I've always liked heroes. I always liked superhero movies. I also was very young when I watched Spider-Man, and even if I didn't understand like the whole subcontext in the movie, like in Spider-Man 2, when Peter loses his powers, I was like, "Wow, Mary Jane's love gave his powers back, no?" And I thought
Yeah,
that was
same.
why he got his powers back and I just watched it recently and it was like, oh, he's believing in him. Wait, it's my Mexican
Yeah.
coming out. Wait, he's believing on him. I can say himself in that. I don't know why. Well, he's believing. Fuck, he's
One more
basically
time.
cooking himself again. So he gets his powers back, and everyone's happy. So yeah, I don't think it's really a matter of age. I mean, ultimately they are like a big spectacle, anyways. But yeah, I focused on Spider-Man. My uncle has I don't know if he still has them, but a lot of comics of Spider-Man comics.
Mm-hmm.
And I used to play the PlayStation 1 Spider-Man games. You know the ones where
yes.
you can the cheat for the big head and big hands and big feet. And it was like, yeah, this
That's
is
awesome.
how Spider-Man is supposed to look like. This is the man the criminals fear.
That's right.
Yeah.
I'm gonna slap you with that giant hand.
Yeah, but yeah, personally, I don't love Andrew movies. I don't love Tom's movies. Like, I'm really excited about this one because, as I already said, I already know the leaks. I already know what happens, and I'm very curious about the execution of that whole nonsense.
That's the main thing. It comes. I mean, there might be. I guess there's like there could be leaks and stuff, but ultimately it comes down to like how they've actually tried to tell that story.
Yeah, that
makes
yeah,
the difference.
that's
I think.
that's
the
what's calling me
execution.
the most. Like, I don't see. I mean, I think we all know the rumors about Tomby and Andrew being there, right? Like,
Mhm.
that's
Yeah.
not really a spoiler.
Yeah, that's known.
I'm just curious about how they are gonna execute all this. Oh fuck! Like, we're gonna give you the biggest nostalgia slap you've had in the last 20 years.
Mhm.
But yeah, I don't love Tom Holland Spider-Man. I like I like the suits a lot. But other than that, I don't love him. I also
How would-
don't like the decision of going full CGI with the suit. Like,
Yeah, me neither.
I don't want
Yeah.
them
That's
to
a
have any
interesting
wrinkles or
decision.
anything. I don't get it.
It's
It looks
interesting
super.
you say that. I feel like the Halo TV show is coming. So God, here comes Halo again.
Yeah.
But the
That looked
Halo
cool,
TV show
honestly.
is coming, and they chose to do, as they always choose to do in live action Halo, they chose to do a practical Master Chief. And I actually really think Master Chief should be CGI'd, because if you really want to convey these sort of unbelievable Herculean feats of a Spartan, I really think they should just be animated, because the suits always have the wrong proportions. This one is way better than any, like, especially better than the Forward Unto Dawn one. But like, if you see
Oh,
the
yeah,
behind the scenes photos from Forward Unto Dawn, his like knees like fall together and look
Yeah.
awkward, and it's awful. It's awful.
Honestly, I think I agree with you, because it always like the undersuit always, in real life, like
Mhm.
Master Chief's undersuit wouldn't work. Like it's supposed to be like kind of like not metal, I guess, but
Right, but
It's
it's
kind
supposed to be
of.
like some
metallic.
weird weave of material that like
Yeah,
that's,
but
like,
it can
where
still,
the
like-
AI lives, and it has all like the other like
Yeah, it's like highly
internal
Yeah.
malleable.
systems of the Mjolnir that's like
Yeah,
not actually
exactly.
the armor.
Like how do you do that in real life? Like it's gonna
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
yeah.
Oh yes,
it's-
No,
I'll
just not
certainly
gonna
be
work.
curious to see how that turns out. But in
Yeah,
terms
sure.
of like the, I guess like props and the costumes and stuff, I was actually, I mean, I got to be honest, I didn't have high expectations for the show when it was announced, and
Neither
then
did
like
I.
with a lot of the details regarding kind of when we were hearing about it, but we hadn't seen anything yet.
Mm-hmm.
But obviously a teaser is a teaser, and well, I mean, shit, that's the whole point of it. But I definitely thought the props and the costumes we saw are a lot better than I would have expected, and
Yeah.
it looked far more like the Halo I know, when I thought it was going to be like, oh, it's Halo, but like we're taking liberties and we're doing our own thing with. I mean, apparently it was already confirmed as like not even being canon or something. So they're
Yeah,
just kind of
I think
like,
that's the
I
understanding.
guess they just do whatever they want with it. I don't know.
Yeah.
Which I almost would prefer that they would do that. I mean, obviously we're talking about Spider-Man. I think that like stuff with superheroes for freaking decades has been like there's no continuous canon, and I know that Halo kind of maintains that
Well,
all
I
the time.
mean, a thought just occurred to me now, right? You know how we have like Halo Legends?
Right.
Wouldn't this be like the perfect time to tie that in as part of like Halo Fractures or something? Because then they could have like Fractures limited events or something in Infinite that could tie in to like
to the TV
if it
show.
was like
Holy
a-
shit!
yeah, Exactly.
Yeah,
if
that
it
would
was
be
like a
the-
Legends thing as well, then
I didn't even think
they
about
could like
that.
do all these different things.
Holy shit! They
Like
can totally.
Fractured Tenrai could have been like some weird like alternate universe where it was like some Japan dominated like samurai Miona or something, and then
Could
it
have
could
been.
like be with this animated shot of this guy with like that Tenrai armor just like slashing the crap out of people.
Yeah, I mean, we're probably gonna see like the armor, the different helmets and stuff that appear in the show.
Mhm.
We're probably gonna see them in Infinite, right? I think that's a
I
safe
think
bet.
so.
Yeah.
I've
Yeah,
seen
I would
I've seen some of
believe
the
so.
armor leaks. I'm sure Neo, you've seen like all of them. Like campaign chief is in the multiplayer for like the first time ever. Well, it's first time since 343 started making games. Which is great. Not that you necessarily feel the need to. I mean, well, I don't know. I mean, it's supposedly it's player expression, so you can run around as a blue Master Chief if you want.
If you pay for it.
How many Big Macs is that? That's a good universal.
Well, see, the problem is Big
qualifier.
Macs here are like $8. So,
That's
I think
that's what I'm saying.
I think
You
we pay more for Big Macs than you do, even with conversion factored in. So that's not a very good. That's not a very good measurement.
Oh dear. Well, I mean,
But
I
I also
worked,
haven't had McDonald's for like quite a while.
I worked at McDonald's last summer. So when I started my channel, I was working at McDonald's, and half the reason I started it was because all of a sudden there was COVID school happening, which is a way dialed back version, and I had this job that left me with a lot of spare time, so that's why I started the channel in the first place.
Oh, okay.
Mhm.
Thanks to McDonald's.
Wow.
But I never grew up eating it.
Mhm.
I mean,
Oh, really?
Do you
How come?
guys chow on McDonald's on a regular basis?
No, but I grew up with it, but I that sounds bad. Not that much, but sometimes. But now I don't really. I don't know. We have better restaurants here in Sweden than.
Well, you said you're
McDonald's.
vegetarian now, so that's definitely kind of cut.
Yeah, I mean,
McDonald's out.
they
Yeah,
have like
that's
the
way a
Mac
significant
vegan, but it's horrible. So that's why I don't eat there.
People would ask for no bun burgers while we were when I worked there. And so what
Oh,
that
no.
is they're expecting, instead of a bun, that you'll get big like iceberg lettuce, which is fine. That's a pretty decent setup for a sandwich. It works for gluten-free people or whatever. But like, we don't have that at McDonald's. They didn't have that at McDonald's. They had shredded lettuce. So what we would do is put a pile of shredded lettuce down, put all the burger stuff on it, and then put a pile of shredded lettuce on top. Like, that made a difference.
Oh no.
Like, so
Oh.
essentially we would give people like burger salads, and they ordered them regularly. People thought, I
Really?
don't know if that's what they knew they were getting or what, but you know that when someone asks for a no bun burger, they're asking for like iceberg sheets of lettuce, That's definitely not what we
Yeah,
had, though. I always felt bad for those people. Kind of, but also
Jesus Christ.
they're also, probably
Maybe it's on them.
they're also vegetarian coming to McDonald's.
Yeah, that's your first problem right there.
Like, not the being
But yeah.
vegetarian part, but the coming to McDonald's part. Maybe you could have made a different choice.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, 100%. I remember one time I was like, "Oh hey, McDonald's has thick shakes now. I wonder what that's like." Instant fucking regret.
Oh yeah. I mean, I can't have dairy,
Well, it's
so
not-
I don't
I
have
mean,
a lot
I-
of experience with the
I'm
shakes.
a milkshake and thick shake person, but it was just fucking fat. Like, it wasn't even like it shouldn't have even been like allowed to be drinkable. I'm surprised that was just on the menu because it was like actually just basically just fat in a cup.
Oh, no.
Well, that's what the burgers are. They're just like compressed
Yeah,
fat
well, yeah.
squeezed on a grill.
Worst $4 I've ever spent.
Never again, right?
Never. But yeah,
You-
well, see, I never go to McDonald's these days. I used to, when I was studying, I used to like get a like chai latte or like a hot drink from McDonald's like every now and then when I'd stop past and maybe like a McMuffin, but that was kind of it. I never got. I mean, the burgers are like too tiny unless you get the really expensive ones, and then if you get the really expensive ones, well, you can just get fucking better burgers anywhere, like literally anywhere else.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Oh,
I
easily.
quite enjoy like I was really into like Japanese food, like not so much sushi, but stuff like katsu and takoyaki I'm pretty crazy about. So that's kind of like where I often ended up going if I wanted to get food while I was out in town on my way home from wherever I was studying at or that kind of thing. But McDonald's is kind of like, nah, since childhood I've never really it's never been my first choice.
Sushi is what is up. I don't know why I had to say that like such a dork. Sushi is what is up.
Sushi is what is up. Yeah, it's incredible.
Yeah, I mean, I know it's not everyone's thing, right? But I know I enjoy it. I had such a blast when I went to Japan. The food there was so nice.
Yeah, sushi's good. Sushi was my first date with my girlfriend.
I can't breathe.
Oh no, the good lines.
Nice.
That was. Hold on, wait. Shit.
Wait,
It sounds like you have a pet grunt there who's just.
Halo Infinite. You could say they locked them away.
Okay, that was the line I was. I was like, I had the grunts queued up, and I was like, I need to keep moving it back and the play thing so they don't trigger at the appropriate time. They just triggered at the worst fucking time.
It sounds like you have a pet grunt held hostage there, and he's just acting up, and you're like, "Shit, stop!" And like you have a hammer, and you're beating him over the head with it.
We already discussed at staff meeting. Remember? Me get 2 weeks.
Exactly.
Yeah, you're a hog.
Good lord.
We've been trying to contact you about MA5B extended warranty.
Man, those are creative. You really.
I had a lot of fun with. Well, see, now I want to start something that's like. So that lock one turned out like really good as like an 8 or 9 second clip on YouTube, right? I kind of want to do like YouTube Shorts, where it's like just running into grunts that are just saying like random fucking shit. Because I think I can set it so that grunts won't attack you on sight. I didn't do it for this one, but I think I know how to make it, so I can maybe make it so that the grunts that specifically have the lines are just ignored by all other AI, so no one will shoot them and they won't shoot you.
That would be hilarious.
But yeah, I thought that'd be funny to that's something where I think I could pretty easily come up with something funny for like 10 seconds, like every week or something. I wanted to make it a short series called I Don't Remember This from Halo, and then maybe do some like elites, some like a really bad Chips Double impression if I can like figure that out, and just like bury some lines in there that like people are like, wait, what? I thought that was
Absolutely.
funny.
My thinking is, wouldn't it be fucking hilarious if you made it look like it actually is in the game, and you just like spread fake news?
Yeah, I mean that was like kind of part of the whole I don't remember this from Halo part. I thought it'd be great to have like some lines playing during like combat and stuff.
You
fooled
me.
Because it's not, the sound effect isn't being played, center speaker. It's not being played in the middle at like max volume, right? The voice is being projected from one of the grunts, so you hear it like around you in the environment. And if a grunt's like really far away or it's in talking, it actually sounds like pretty convincing, I think. But yeah.
I want to wait. So Jafet, do you like sushi? I want to round this back out for a second.
I do like sushi, but it's like a new thing for me. I was very picky about my food before, and
I get
tried
that.
sushi for the first time like a year ago, and I've been eating a lot of not just Japanese, Asian food in general. I've been learning to make some dishes myself. But yeah, I love sushi. It's great. There, I don't eat all of the variants. Like there's some, there's some crazy shit there. But yeah, I like it. Yeah.
Yeah, sushi's pretty good. I mean, Alyx, do you eat sushi much?
Excuse me. Whenever I do, yeah.
Oh yeah. I mean, we have a lot of sushi places where I am here. Yeah.
Do you have like your localized versions of sushi? Because here in Mexico, there's a lot of like, there's a Tampico roll that's from Tampico, which is another state here in Mexico.
We've got a lot of
And
that
it
kind
has
of thing.
like, yeah, I think it's.
Oh, interesting.
Our
yeah,
football
I really
team.
love like. What you first? You first.
Well, our football team in Seattle is the Seahawks, and so we have Seahawks rolls at every sushi, and they're all a different roll at every sushi place, and we have king salmon, which sometimes is actually salmon, but king salmon fishing is big here in Washington, and yeah, we have all kinds of stuff like that themed after our area, fir tree roll, whatever. I mean, I don't know if I've ever seen that before, but it's a good idea though.
Yeah.
So we do have rolls that are themed after our region, localized, basically.
But the recipe is different, right? It's not just like the fancy name for the LOL. It's a different.
Yeah, they'll actually change what's in it.
Different ingredients and all that.
Yeah. They'll come up with something creative. The really popular one here is to put cream cheese in it. So every special roll that has some name has cream cheese in it.
Jesus.
That that seems like the kind of thing where like it's probably not as bad as it sounds, but that also is just like such an interesting choice.
My favorite ones, to be honest with you, are the ones with cream cheese in them, especially if they've been fried.
I could see that.
Like you take it, put cream cheese in it, make whatever the roll is, and then you dip it, and it's like got batter. Oh man, I think I want sushi. Wow.
It sounds very, very American.
It is so American. I mean, what kind of What kind of localized? Okay, go ahead, Wernissage.
No, you go first.
Well, I was gonna ask you, like, what kind of localized rolls they have, sushi rolls they have in Sweden.
Yeah, because I was gonna ask you guys, like, do you guys have mayonnaise? Because I've seen some mayonnaise on some pizzas here in Sweden.
Mayonnaise in a sushi roll?
Yeah.
What?
Maybe could be.
We have it here if it's like with like actual legitimate like Japanese mayonnaise in it, which tastes different from kind of the Western stuff we have. I fucking love Japanese mayonnaise, which is funny because I hate Western mayonnaise.
I have never heard of that.
But they're like completely different things.
Yeah. I mean, I honestly don't like. I don't know much about regular sushi because I've never liked fish. So it was when I actually became a vegetarian that I tried sushi for the first time. And that's the sushi I love, like avocado and the rice and the tofu and stuff. Like those are
for sure,
that's
me
like
too.
what makes it so good for me. But I have gotten some pieces with mayonnaise as well. But I don't know. It's just neutral, so it doesn't really taste anything. It's just like creamy, so I think it's fine.
Oh yeah, I like those too quite a bit. Avocado is another big one here.
100%.
Interesting, the emphasis on mayo.
Yeah, I don't know why. Like, it's not even that we consume a lot of mayo in Sweden. I don't know why.
Kind of sounds like it.
Yeah, it kind of sounds like it. You get the false impression. But yeah, I don't really eat that much mayo, but it happens.
Apparently so.
I really like mayo, but I don't know if you have this in your country. Like, you make fried tacos of chicken.
Oh, okay.
They look like this. If you haven't seen them, let me see. But the thing is, Mexicans. Oh wait, fuck! No, there's someone coming. Wait, I'll have to excuse myself. Wait.
That's okay.
Oh, okay. There we go. So
and
fried tacos.
Fried tacos, yeah. The perfect outro for
that was a little Incubus reference for some people.
that is an Incubus reference. Beautiful.
I could never figure out how to that song. What's something called Follow?
Oh yeah, that's Follow is
second movement of the Odyssey or something, right?
Yeah, that's
I
Incubus,
never
right?
learned
I
how
think
to
it's the
play
first
that
one.
song. I don't know what time the sure it is.
Yeah, it's like what is it, 7 time?
I think it's probably 7 something. I think.
No,
that's
it's really interesting.
Yeah, it's pretty intense. I mean, that music is actually really cool. I'm gonna dedicate a whole dedicated video to doing it. And one thing I've always wanted to do is transcribe the whole thing and do a performance of it. Because yeah.
I was just gonna say I would love to drum you if I can learn to song.
Please do. I that's perfect. That is absolutely perfect.
Awesome.
That would be incredible.
Just last night, I also finished learning that Kurdish Schweitzer piece, Never Tell Me the Odds, which is in like 4-2-4-3-4 or something like that.
Yeah, I noticed that. It's like a 4+3, 3+4 alternating. It's 7, but
I really liked that track from the that was in the E3 2020 campaign trailer, or like the very brief campaign snippet where like Joe was like talking over it. Oh wait, no, that was this year.
That was this year.
But yeah, that track like really stood out to me. I really liked that one, and I really enjoy it in the soundtrack as well.
Oh yes, it stood straight out to me when I heard it, and I started making a video talking about the 2021 stuff, and then I never finished the video, and so now it's been too long, so I just had to scrap all my work on that.
Yeah, the more kind of like oddity and unique tracks, I think, are the strong suits. Well, they've always been the strong suits of every Halo game, I think. But what appeals to me the most with Halo Infinite's music is the stuff that is very much not necessarily trying to be kind of like, not nostalgia bait, but like kind of have sort of a foundation in existing content. For me personally, I enjoy most the stuff in the Infinite soundtrack that is very much trying to. It feels like it's taking a step forward, I guess,
Evolving the sound.
and feels like it's doing its own thing.
I think that's a great example of that. Is that time signature stuff in Curtis's track, and there's also some things they do with synths that's like, wow, we are stepping into like almost legitimate Blade Runner territory now.
Yeah,
you know?
dude, I heard that.
Yeah,
for
there was
the
quite a
first
lot
time
of
today,
interesting
I think.
stuff there.
Yeah,
Yeah, that was awesome.
Oh yeah,
I
it
thought of
blew
Blade.
my mind.
I thought of Blade Runner too.
Mm-hmm. I think it's very Vangelis, you know.
Yeah, definitely.
Oh man, it has been cool to listen to all that. There is in Infinite a lot of you could call it nostalgia bait. I think a lot of it is pretty well warranted. One of the motifs or themes that always bugs me in the way that it's implemented is the one from Halo 2 with like the it kind of was the Arbiter's theme, but it isn't really. It's just that never has found a solid narrative place. You know, like they've got that in Infinite.
For me, it's that, but they like skip like they almost like skipped the groove part of it. I feel like that gave it like that kind of like that feeling of movement to it, and now it's just like straight kind of 4/4, and I was like, I feel like you lost something by doing that. But that's just my opinion, of course.
My main concern was just the implementation into the game. You know, it's just like where it sits is.
Oh, that one's isn't that Know Your Enemy? I think it's Know Your Enemy. I really like the rest of that track, and like except for that Halo 2 motif, the rest of it I think is really good. I like the percussion in it. The percussion sounds really cool.
It's pretty early in the game that they use it, and I always felt like it should be. And I was gonna make a video on this too, at one point. About that particular theme, like where does this sit narratively? What is the narrative relationship that this theme has? And it doesn't seem to have one. I love it. It's my favorite theme in the whole series, and yet it never finds a solid footing narratively. So I mean, the thing is like Halo 2 and 3 were almost sort of consistent, which makes sense. Marty had purview over those, and it doesn't appear in Reach, which works. You know, that makes sense narratively.
Makes sense.
But it appears in Halo 5 soundtrack. It's in Halo 5 like in a very like you wouldn't.
Is it
it's
in like
not
the
highly
Helios
apparent.
mission, or is it like actually just somewhere else? Oh, okay.
Isn't it in like the Osiris theme or something like that?
Yeah,
like
I think
Osiris
it is.
Mission? It's like weird,
And it
know.
bugs the
That's such
hell
a
out of me
strange
because it's
placement.
just they just don't exactly know what they want to do with it. Because you could I could think of things that you could do with it. Like for instance, Arbiters in freaking Halo 5, like you could totally have used that when the Swords of Sang Helios and Arbiter first show up. That would have been the end all be all. Like, yes, we finally decided on something to do with it. You know, it's Arbiter, but that is not what they chose to do.
I think that's up now because of the way they implemented it. It sounds more like just another combat track now instead of something that's pointless story or whatever's going on narrative wise.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
What Marty has talked about a couple of times might have played a part in that. Where, I mean, I know from Marty's standpoint, as as audio director, he was basically one of the creative leads in the sense that I think. I'd be curious to know if maybe sort of having the context of being very heavily involved with the development of the story and other stuff makes a big difference emotionally in how a lot of pieces come across. I'd be because something that Marty's talked about is a lot of modern music, and it's no fault to the composers or anyone in specific, but it's maybe more separated in the sense that kind of the level designer will just be like, oh, we need a piece here, or we need it to sound like this or this. But then sort of the composer or the person designing the music maybe doesn't have as strong a hand in like seeing or playing a part in how it actually gets adapted or added,
or implemented,
like into the level, like what? Yeah, pretty much. And you know, I mean, I could absolutely agree, and I know Marty believes that probably has played a significant part of the Halo sound, and why, at least in the classic Bungie games, every appearance feels so like perfectly placed. I believe Marty said he had at least a hand in where every piece plays in the original games.
I think that's
up
why
to Reach.
Halo music hasn't really ever felt the same since reading, even with how good the music isn't in it.
Yeah,
I think you're right. Yeah, I would have.
well, that's
to
the
agree.
whole thing, right? Because with Halo 4 and Halo 5, like some of the music on a technical level, or the music by itself, is fantastic. There's amazing
Yeah,
stuff there, but
truly.
it's the context of how it's used in the campaign that I think has always felt maybe less appropriate with 343 games, because I
the
think maybe
context.
it feels a lot more like they're just kind of like just putting a track in there rather than putting the track that's kind of meant to be there.
Well, in terms
But
of the
I
way
could be
that
completely wrong, of course, because we have a lot less insight into 4 and 5's development than we do on the Bungie games, for example.
yeah,
But
absolutely.
sorry, continue.
Well, no, it's okay. I think Halo 4, in my for me, does a better job handling the way music works, just because it makes less references. Like it tries a little harder to just be its own thing. Speaking of like Blade
Well, that's
Runner,
why I liked
know,
4 so much, because 4 was very much like, hey, this is the next new generation of Halo. We're doing something completely different now.
and they backed
Which
off.
I was actually on board for that, because I was like, yeah, like fucking own it. And then they just kind of just, I don't know what happened. They're just like, we changed our minds.
Well, they did. They pulled a Disney Star Wars where they heard the fan reception and freaked out, and tried to course correct. And it's just like, you just can't. You got to put your head down, and like for instance, we're going to disable comments on these. No, I'm
You
kidding.
have to like double down
Podcast.
on if you're going to do something like that, you should double down on it, because it's like,
Yeah, I
yeah,
think so.
well, maybe you weren't necessarily successful on your first go, according to some people, but also like, if it's a second time around, then like they might pick up on the sort of consistency there, or like, if you
It's
kind of just change everything after the first time, you're not
makes-
even giving yourself a chance to adapt and improve on whatever it was you were doing the first time.
The way that you legitimize something like that, where you take such a bold step with a Halo 4, is like the thing that makes it work is the second entry. Like if the second entry fails, then the first one also fails by proxy, which is how, in my opinion, things worked with The Force Awakens and The Last Jedi. I just think that The Force Awakens was a really great film, and I think that The Last Jedi made it worse retrospectively, retroactively.
Yep.
Worse than it needs to be. So, but I think it's the same thing with Halo 4 and 5. And it's funny because all these things happen around the same era. There was this last 10 years of media production, in my opinion, like especially the big blockbuster stuff, is all very related and similar, in terms of being similar with regard to being like not aware of what the source material, like the real meat of the source material is. And I think we're stepping into a new decade now where that's the trend across multiple franchises, is going the other way. And we're starting to finally understand like what made the original good. If a bit vapid in the process, but you know what I mean? So,
well, I'd also be curious because something else that might have significantly played a part, and this is this probably helped set up the circumstances where Marty was able to sort of, have eyes, if not a hand, on kind of the overall direction of how things were going, I guess, from a story and presentation sense. But, in Marty's case, he was actually at Bungie Studio. That was his office. So he was like in the middle of it physically when it was happening. I imagine with I mean, he was also like dedicated to basically just working on Halo and only Halo at the time. I think that's probably got to be very different from composers now who probably, are probably working from their own general studio, but are likely also potentially working on multiple projects at the same time. I don't know, commissions or whatever actual industry composers are doing. But that probably plays such a, like, it's I almost want to say maybe it's like they can't. It's a lot less likely that people in today are able to focus as much of their full kind of undivided attention on things as they could have back then. But
well, that seems to be true
this is
across
observation
life.
from someone that isn't in the industry, right? So I don't even know if this really applies. But maybe maybe something like that plays a difference. I'm sorry, I'm moving the grunt lines back past the cursor because I noticed it just crept up, and I'm like, no, you shouldn't be playing. You shouldn't be playing. You need to fuck off.
Well, gee, I mean, God, we always get talking as fervently, or the most fervently, when we're talking about Halo music. We really need to just embrace it.
Yeah, but guys, we got to remember, right? It's not a Halo podcast.
It is.
So if you're viewing and you're coming here for the Halo discussions, I'm sorry. We're probably not disappointing you, but I'm sorry to disappoint you because it's not a Halo podcast.
We're sorry to disappoint you in talking about Halo when you came in looking at the title saying, of course, this is not going to be a Halo podcast.
The worst part has got to be, like, I don't know if we put this on Spotify or something, right? And we have to put like the very brief overview of the subjects we discuss per episode. And then there's got to be at least one Halo subject per episode, right? It's not a Halo podcast, but we do talk about, I don't know, the silent cartographer for like fucking 2 hours.
Yeah, precisely, which we could definitely do. Yeah, that's exactly right. I mean, people are gonna. I think it'll be funny. I think people will enjoy that. It's a good quirk, but yeah, so in Infinite, like they'll use the Warthog Run theme, and they'll in the road, which is cool. That when that was happening in the game, like, what did you guys think when you got to that part?
So I heard the low E playing, which is basically the cue that, this is going to be the Warthog Run, right? So what I decided to do was get in Warthog instinctively and try to run my way.
That is what
through.
that music does to you.
Nice.
And I died within like 20 seconds.
Yep.
Because that's not what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to slowly trot your way through.
People told me that naturally it's in like a different vehicle. It's in a different vehicle, right? And I'm just like,
well, they give you the choice for a Warthog, a Scorpion.
Goes.
Yeah,
I know they give you the choice. I thought it was going to be a Warthog run based on the music, so that threw me off a little bit.
Well, that's what it would make you think.
Okay, so it's like, so it's kind of like one final effort then, where you get the tank or the hog up to when the Hornets come in the Covenant.
Yeah, it's more like a Scorpion run.
It's a short stretch, and at the beginning they give you the choice between Wraith, Scorpion, and Warthog. You can choose, and it's just that the only viable choice that I found was the Wraith.
Yeah, totally.
So they kind of gave us a Wraith run.
I mean, I used the Scorpion thing.
I was a little disappointed, I won't lie.
It's not what it should have been, I think.
Yeah, it's definitely not.
You're supposed to be racing to save the pilot, and, it's like, it's this whole thing, and it should have been set up differently because it's so grindy. Like, the Warthog run shouldn't have to be a legitimate challenge. It should just be like, oh my god, I'm a badass.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm driving fast.
The Warthog thing, the whole Warthog run thing is you get to drive in a straight line while shit's just fucking exploding around you. That's like the whole point of it.
Yeah.
Well, obviously, with Halo 3 especially, you're actually having to like dodge shit, but like, the Warthog run to me is supposed to be, you're taking in the peripheral of everything that's happening around you as you're just trying to get out of there. It's not. That's where, it already failed because it was a fucking ghost run, but that's where the ghost run in Halo 4 failed spectacularly, in my opinion, in like the third level.
And
you have that ghost, and Cortana's like, I can take down your shield power to like overcharge the ghost's boost, and then you go really fast, but then also like it's really easy to just like smash into like the moving walls, and then you just fucking have to respawn and like do it again.
Yeah.
That's not fun for me.
That's funny you say that. I kind of like Halo 4's Ghost Run because it's slightly more challenging, but it's not like you have to stop and fight. personally.
No, like, see, I like being a frantic experience and stuff. I think it's cool. I just mean as a substitute for the Warthog run, I think it misses
I
the
see.
mark.
I see.
And
I will
I only
say-
say that because Halo has that, but then goes on to just not have a Warthog run in Halo 4. If they had both, I probably wouldn't be having this
I hear
kind
you.
of like thought on it,
That
right?
makes sense.
Yeah. I mean, split screen doesn't work. Like playing 2 players, the Ghost Run in Halo 4 is impossible.
Oh.
Because someone's just gonna be behind
Oh,
and
God.
just keep dying.
It's terrible.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
because a lot
awful.
of the like stuff collapsing in on you, I think it's caused by trigger zones when one player
Yeah.
reaches certain points. So then
exactly.
the other person always gets fucking shafted and basically just keeps respawning while player 1 is like doing it normally.
Well,
Yeah,
you know,
exactly.
Halo 4, I guess I really, honestly, a lot of the Halos struggle with co-op, 4-player co-op, and properly supporting it, particularly the fact that a Warthog only holds 3 people. Like, just that simple
Yeah,
fact.
I doing it with 3 and ODST was great because in those situations they've always accounted for having the extra players and then they give you extra stuff
Yeah.
when that happens.
I thought those two did a great job of it.
You'll always get like an extra tank or extra vehicles or extra like something will spawn in when you have more players to actually help you out. I'm pretty sure that doesn't happen with Halo 4.
Reach either. Reach is not super good at it either.
I don't know about actually Halo 5. It's probably already there because of the AI.
Halo 5, I think, does the better job.
Yeah, that's
in terms of more recent stuff.
Well, Halo 5, you have your AI teammates, right? So you never actually get more players. You just get players controlling characters that were always already there. So that's kind of not an issue in Halo 5. But
Well, Infinite, obviously there is no co-op yet. Thanks, guys. But I think it'll serve pretty well for 4-player co-op. But I'm thinking about, for instance, this Warthog run moment, the road, this mission. I just think that it
is it narrow?
It's narrow, yeah, and you're fighting a lot.
Okay, yeah. See, that's already an issue.
It's not really a run. You're just straight up like it's just stages that you do normal fighting at, and the music for something like that is not super well suited for that. That music is just like
Should have played that section, the Arbiter motif track Halo Infinite, if to have you fighting the whole way through.
that would have been the thing to do. I completely agree. That's a great idea. Well then, there it is. That's a conclusion on episode 0.5. I'm going to do my outro read then. Thank you all for joining us today. Not a Halo podcast is created in association with Pseudofusion Productions, LLC, free of any funding. If you'd like to support us, please share with your friends, and do support the members of this show, Alyx, Jafet, Neo, and Wernissage, on their respective platforms, listed in the description. I'm Noah, and this is Not a Halo podcast.